personal brand. Like we were kind of talking a bit off air. So there's, like a personal LinkedIn page and personal Facebook page and those kind of things. But what do you think I should do?
I think, you need to keep going as you are, my man. Yeah, and I can get into that. Like, I think you should have, if in terms of your personal brand, I think you should have the jameswrigley.com.au built up with a blog. All right, and yep. I think, look, content marketing overrides everything that you do. Content marketing is a little bit different when you're looking at it from an SEO perspective. It's a little bit different when you're looking at it from social media. And even within social media, it starts looking a bit different on TikTok versus Instagram, as you're a Gary Vee fan, right? So you know the differences. So let me stay away from the social, right? What about with the personal branding from the SEO perspective does overlap into social media when you start looking at YouTube. I think you should definitely start doing YouTube, and then basically in your jameswrigley.com.au site, integrate your blog content for a video that you've done on YouTube and embed them into blog articles. And what that does is when you're building content, which I actually prepared for you earlier, this is the dish for you earlier. So like let's say I'm looking at business insurance or what people are searching for on Google and business insurance, and you can't underestimate what they're searching for, very little they know. And so if you start with like in your blog, any specialty areas that you have, whether it's insurance, have a category called insurance, even break that down into business insurance, income, whatever, like health insurance, and break that down. So the blog will be a big part of your personal brand, and then connecting that with your YouTube, learning what people are searching for on Google, writing the ads, doing a YouTube video, embedding them in, and just being patient with that. And then from your 10, 15-minute video, you can create, as Gary Vee says, the pillar content strategy, where you'll take a 2 or 3 minute clip, condense it down for your Facebook ad, or take a minute clip of like a little bite-size chunk of fact, so for example, if people are asking, what insurance do I need for my small business? Like, that's what they're searching for on Google, right? So you can create like a 1,500-word article about here's every type of insurance you need for your small business. And then what I do for my clients is we break that down into what can we write in that article. So in that article, we look at other keywords around that. So that might be small business insurance costs. Is there any free alternatives for my small business? Is there any grants that are available? So we have the overriding parent topic, and then we look at other searches that they're doing on Google that can then become a derivative of the parent, right? So that will then help your article get more exposure for multiple different types of keywords, and then build your YouTube channel and incorporate that into that. So that article, if someone goes to Google, what insurance do I need for my small business, you can get found 3 times. Look, where's the camera? 3 times, right? You can get found in the Google normal web results, right? The video search, and even within the standard web results, there'll be links to your YouTube. And the 4th is obviously YouTube itself. So did that make sense? Okay. That's what I would focus on. So I think your personal brand from a social media perspective, you sort of, you understand it because you listen to Gary Vee. But I think from an SEO perspective is where I can give you the most amount of value.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Does that make sense what I said?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And so you're referencing something there about, what people are actually searching for. Is there somewhere where you can find what people are actually searching for? Like
we have tools. So we've got one of my favorite tools is the Google itself, right? So what I like to do, I like to use Google because actually Google gives you a lot of information as to searches related to. Do you notice that section when you type in keywords into Google?
No.
No? Okay. So
if I go into Google.
Yeah, go into Google and type what's your, because I can just put financial advice, or what is your main, do you have a specialty within like superannuation?
Yeah, I'll just put financial advisor Melbourne.
Financial advisor, right? Let me click on financial advisor. Now, I just put financial advisor. I didn't put financial advisor Melbourne just yet, right? So when I click financial advisor, you scroll down, it's got people also ask section, right? Do you notice that when you scroll? Does that generate on your end? Sometimes it might, sometimes it won't.
Oh yeah, people also ask, what does a financial advisor do? Yeah.
So how much should you pay? What does a financial advisor do? This is one of the free ways that obviously I have other tools. And if you click on the last listing, so actually click on what is the difference between a financial planner. Do you see that one? It's the fourth result.
Yeah.
You click on that to make it collapse, and then click it again to bring it up. And then what will happen? You'll get more suggestions. Right. So then you get, is it worth paying? Right.
I'd seen that before, but never given it too much thought as to just blog posts and videos and those kind of things, just answering those questions.
Well, I tell you what, I've gone, it usually is. I've built affiliate sites where I've just copied, like this is 2010, where I just copied this section wasn't around 2010. So what I did was I did it for, if you scroll right to the bottom of Google, you will see searches related to financial advisor. So scroll right to the bottom. Google's telling you what people are searching.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
That's what I used in 2010 for my affiliate, and went from 0 to 1,000 people in about 3 months. So it was the acai berry, the acai. I don't know acai if you don't know much about it. It was this berry that's exploded in popularity. So I started an affiliate. Yeah. Now they're everywhere. The acai bowls. Like, this is 10 years ago. No one knew what the hell they were. And I just basically took 10 keywords. I just spun the content and got it written by someone from overseas for $10. Wrote 100 articles, and I went from 0 to 1,000 in I think it was 3 months. I'm pretty sure it was less than that, but let's just say 3 months. Copying just that. Now, it may not always apply for you, and you just have to keep the keywords going around. So it does have financial advisor Melbourne. So that's a keyword people type in. But what I was trying to get, you asked me for your personal brand. It's always the biggest problem people do with their own blog is they just blog about what they think people want to know rather than researching what they actually are asking. That's the biggest number one mistake. Like, I'm sorry, but no one cares that Sam from sales got a promotion.
Yeah.
No one cares. No one cares about Sarah's birthday cake either. No one cares about what your business has acquired and which companies it's acquired. That might be good for financial review, but no one cares about it from a Google perspective. They want to know how you can help them. We're in an on-demand society, and when they ask questions, they want answers. And then, as you know, Gary Vee talks about voice. So this is going to be massive with voice is already developing on Google Home, but the voice searches. So someone asking Google, what is a normal fee for a financial advisor? You have to ask yourself, James, when Google spits back a result and tells that person what the information is, which result do you think they're going to grab from their own search results?
Yeah. I don't know. Which one are they going to grab?
Most likely number one, unless you ask for a different. So financial advisor Melbourne. Now you're getting into location SEO, which is a little bit different. So there may not always be good content, but if you type in, people also ask, what is a normal fee for a financial advisor in Australia? How do I find a good advisor in Australia? There you go, James. How do I find a good advisor in Australia? And then just mention Melbourne in the article. Remember, I told you how you break it down. Say, just because you're in Melbourne, could you provide financial advice over Zoom? Or is it something by law you have to sit down with them face to face?
No, so we can provide advice. So I've got clients right around Australia that don't have to be in Melbourne. Again, there's clients that are overseas as well who kind of deal with their Australian affairs for them whilst they're overseas.
Okay, because because I had a broker and he told me that I think something to do with brokering, they had to see them face to face.
Yeah.
Mortgage brokers. So I don't. Yeah, no, well, if you don't, mate, there is a plethora of content ideas for you to write, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. So there's a takeaway for you, my man. Like, I wanted to bring you value. So what I have then is I'll take these suggestions and I'll run them into the tools and that I have, because at the end of the day, content marketing is the foundation. So what you have to work, how you work, what is valuable on TikTok is something you probably have to keep trolling and error on TikTok. But then there's also, you can look at YouTube, what people are searching on YouTube. So even if you just go into YouTube, one of the quickest way for you without the tools and the gadgets is, how do I find a financial advisor? Same thing on YouTube is a little bit different. You know how when you start typing a search in Google, it gives you the search predictions? That's what people, you can get a bit of an idea what people are searching on YouTube by the predictions. But I would start your blogging strategy, your personal branding, through what I just mentioned, what people are searching for. So how do I find a good advisor in Australia? I would go onto YouTube. I'll do a 5-minute video, edit it pretty well. Okay, not like mine, which are completely garbage, right? My editing's terrible. I like to think the content I'm delivering is great, but the editing itself,
content that matters,
sucks, right? But for you, you could have like, here are 5 tips. And then think about it. If you write an article about 5 tips to find a good financial advisor, you embed that into your blog article. People stay on your page longer. They're watching it, and all these there are minor search factors to help you boost that article in Google. And the next thing is to try to get people to link to that article, which is a whole 10-part series of the podcast on its own. So that's probably, does that make sense?
It does. It does. Thank you. That's a brilliant tip. I'll look that up.
So how else are you going to show? I mean, at the end of the day, man, in personal branding is not much different than business branding in the sense that you just got to demonstrate your knowledge and give away as much as you possibly can for free to demonstrate value and knowledge and expertise. Because what Google's looking for from their perspective is, it's a part of their algorithm called EAT, which is expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So the more long form content you write to deal and answer people's questions, Google will start favoring you because you're getting more click. Because at the end of the day, all they care about is you answer someone's question. And they don't have to go back to Google to figure out their answer. Yeah.
And then they're more likely to use Google next time. So it's the perpetual loop.
And what Google's sort of relied on for so long is links to determine quality. So a link to your blog article coming from Amiga Digital, right? I'm in marketing. I say, I'm going to give you a link, James, because you're the best financial advisor I know. Google looks at that and goes, we'll take a bit of that into consideration. If my mortgage broker links to you, then that's a little bit more related. And then if you get a link from the Financial Review or you get a link from Money Magazine, then Google goes, well, they're the platinum links, and that will boost your trustworthiness in Google. So more of your content will rank. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's accreditation. It's like an endorsement.
Yeah. That's what you're looking for, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The endorsement from the other websites. Yeah.
And what do people say about you that have knowledge in your industry? Because if you start talking to me about superannuation and, hey man, I've got a spare 30,000, what should I do? Like that's a lot of people search for that on Google, by the way, because I've been one of them. Like I've got a spare X amount of money. What do I do with it? Or should I put it in stock? Should I keep it up for investment in a home? I think that whole direction, you could create mountains of content.
Just the education. It's built on education.
Absolutely. And from listening to Gary Vee that, try not to keep all your best information to yourself. I know the industry you're in is a bit sensitive in terms of what you can share. But I'm sure think about all the free information out there already, but you adding your sort of commentary on that and your expertise. Yeah. You don't have to, and then they think, well, this is and then if they're letting on your webpage, James, and it's like you're providing 5 reasons of how to find a great financial advisor in Australia, then they've just landed on your site to find that out, didn't they? Make sense? Right? So what are they going to do? So then on the webpage, you try to have calls to actions and then get, subtly but politely make sure that the option to contact you is there. Right? Right? So there's calls to action and things like that. So that's something that I would definitely do. So, I mean, look, you listen to Gary Vee, you get the idea, man. And it's just molding that into SEO, because content marketing is the most important in terms of all branding, of all digital marketing. And when I had this conversation in 2008 and we had these debates about content marketing or link building, I was such on the big bandwagon of content marketing. So when people say, you're like Gary Vee talking about content, blah, blah, I was like, oh man, like I was talking about this 12 years ago. I just don't.
We're talking about the same stuff at the same time. Yeah. Same
stuff on a different platform. So it wasn't he gears it towards social media, but I was gearing it more towards SEO. But content marketing was the point. Absolutely. So anything else I can help you with, my man? Any questions, any value? Because really, I want this to make it about you, not about my audience.
Look, nothing really more. I do need to run in a minute because I've got a meeting that I've got to get to. But
Sure.
I don't know. I think just even that, like that's been absolute gold. That just looking at, like I said, I could search Google and stuff all the time, like everyone else does. I never really paid too much attention. Like you'd see those things come up there about what other people are searching for, those questions, and often that's answering the question that I'm searching for in the first place. But never thought about reversing that around the other way to actually do my own content. Of course, it makes sense now when you talk it through, but to do my own content around those things that people are searching for, rather than just what I think someone might be interested in.
Yeah. And then with the coming voice revolution with Google Home, and Alexa's a little bit different, but with Google Home, by producing that long form content, you're also preparing for how people will search more and more in the future. And long form content, meaning those questions that people ask all the time, will be the front and center. Like I rather rank for long form content, 20 different articles, and you bring 4,000 or 5,000 people than trying to rank for that one big keyword that all my competitors are going for.
Yeah,
we can talk about that next time.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, James. I appreciate it.